This is Love Notes, daily devotions from Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. Grace and peace to you. Knowing that the accuser has been dismissed from the courts of heaven to put Job to the test, and God is allowing that, it tells us one day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the eldest brother's house, something they did all the time, remember, a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys were feeding beside them, and the Sabeans fell on them and carried them off and killed the servants with the edge of the sword. Now, the Sabeans are an ancient, prehistoric kind of people. Their reputation is all that's left of them. We're not sure where they came from, but they were enemies of the people who became the Israelites. They apparently are a warring band, and only this one escapes to tell the brothers and sisters. Now, while he was still speaking, another came and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. I alone have escaped to tell you. So one more escapee who manages to bring the message of destruction. Fires come down from heaven and all the sheep are gone. So cattle, donkeys, all of the wealth is starting to be stripped away. In verse 17, it says, while he was still speaking, another came and said, the Chaldeans, another ancient people, formed 3 columns, made a raid on the camels, and carried them off. They killed the servants with the edge of the sword. I alone have escaped to tell you. You see the pattern of the story here. It's very predictable. It's very memorable. And it's a good literary tool. Systematically, the things that were listed before as what made up the wealth of Job are being stripped away. But there's always a witness. Now verse 18 comes. While he was still speaking, another came and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came across the desert, struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are all dead. I alone have escaped to tell you. So in these few verses, we see that calamity has fallen on the house of Job. Everything has been taken from him. What will Job do? According to the accuser now, he will curse God. He will turn his back on God. He will look some other place for his rewards and the avoidance of punishment. Here's what Job does. In verse 20, it says, then Job arose and tore his robe, a sign of grieving. You tear your robe to show the world that you are grieving. He shaved his head, another sign of mourning, and fell on the ground and worshipped. He fell on the ground and worshipped. He said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. How do you muster that in the midst of such loss? He's lost his whole family. All that's left is his wife. All the kids are gone. His prosperity and wealth are gone. Job stands there and looks at the wreckage of his life, and what he says is, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Again, Job shows us what it means to be faithful, and he shows the accuser wrong, because then it ends this section saying, in all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrongdoing. His faith was unshaken. May we ponder that. May we think about how much of our faith is wrapped up in getting God's favor or avoiding God's punishment. What can we say to God when we lose things in our lives? Can we, like Job, say, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away, blessed be the name of the Lord? Amen.